I'm 78 years old, and I learned what really matters too late. I don't say that lightly. I say it because at this age, when mornings are quieter and nights are longer, the truth has a way of sitting beside you whether you invite it or not. I'm not telling this because I want sympathy. I don't need reassurance. I'm telling it because I don't have much time left, and some things feel heavier when they're carried alone. If someone else can hear this and feel a small shift inside them, then maybe it was worth finally saying out loud. These days, my life is simple. I wake up early because sleep doesn't come easily anymore. The house is quiet, too quiet sometimes. I make coffee, even though my doctor tells me not to drink too much of it. Old habits are stubborn. I sit at the kitchen table and watch the light come in through the window, hitting the same spot on the floor it has for decades. That part hasn't changed. I have. I spend a lot of time thinking now, not because I want to, but because there's nothing rushing me forward anymore. No deadlines. No one waiting for me to finish something. When you're young, your mind is always leaning ahead. When you're old, it keeps drifting back. I think about the man I used to be. In my 20s and 30s, I thought I was doing everything right. I had a job that paid the bills. I showed up every day. I didn't get into trouble. I thought responsibility was the same thing as meaning. No one ever told me they weren't the same. I worked long hours, not because anyone forced me to, but because it felt necessary. It felt like what a good man was supposed to do. I told myself I was building something, security, stability, a future. Those words sounded solid back then. They felt like proof that my life had direction. I got married young. She was patient, kinder than I deserved even then. We didn't fight much. That's something people think is a good sign. Sometimes it's just silence wearing a polite face. We talked about practical things, bills, schedules, groceries. We didn't talk much about how we were changing. When our children were born, I was proud. I remember holding them and feeling something open inside me. But I also remember how quickly I handed them back so I could get ready for work. I told myself I would make it up later. I told myself there would be time. Most of my days followed the same pattern. Wake up, work, come home tired, eat dinner, watch television, go to bed. On weekends, I fixed things around the house or caught up on errands. It all felt productive, necessary. I didn't feel unhappy exactly. I just didn't feel present. There were moments that should have slowed me down. School plays I arrived late to. Conversations my wife tried to start when I was distracted. Evenings when my kids wanted to show me something and I told them, in a minute. That minute often never came. I didn't think those moments mattered much on their own. I didn't see how they added up. The cost didn't arrive all at once. That's the part people don't warn you about. Life doesn't usually punish you loudly. It takes quietly, piece by piece. A little distance here, a missed connection there, you barely notice, because it feels normal, comfortable even. My children grew up. They stopped asking for my time. I thought that meant I had done my job. I didn't realize it also meant they had learned not to expect me. By the time I noticed, the habit was already formed. I told myself this was just how long marriages worked. That comfort replaced closeness. That passion faded and practicality took over. Everyone around me seemed to accept that explanation, so I did too. It was easier than asking hard questions. The turning point didn't come with an argument or a dramatic scene. It came quietly, like everything else. My wife got sick. Not suddenly, gradually. Doctor visits, test results, waiting rooms that smelled like disinfectant and fear. I sat beside her in those rooms, holding her hand, and felt a strange mix of familiarity and distance. I realized how much of her inner life I had missed. There were things she told the doctor that surprised me. Not because she had changed, but because I hadn't been listening for years. When she passed, the house felt different immediately. Not just emptier, exposed. All the noise I had filled my life with was gone, and there was nothing to distract me from what I had avoided feeling. Grief is strange at this age. It's not just about losing the person. It's about losing the version of yourself you were when they were alive. It's about realizing how many conversations you assumed you'd have later. After the funeral, people checked in for a while. Then they went back to their lives. I don't blame them. That's how it works. But the silence that followed was deeper than anything I'd known before. I tried to reconnect with my children. We talked, we were polite, but there was a gap that couldn't be crossed with good intentions alone. They had their own lives, their own routines, their own priorities. I had taught them that lesson well. There are things now that cannot be fixed. I can't go back and sit on the floor to play when they were small. I can't hear my wife's voice the way it used to sound when she laughed freely. I can't relive moments I rushed through. Time doesn't negotiate. It doesn't care how much you regret. It doesn't slow down because you finally understand. If you're listening to this and you're younger, I want to be careful here. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I don't know your life. I only know mine. What I wish I had known is simple, but it didn't feel simple back then. The things I thought were urgent rarely were. The things I thought could wait usually couldn't. Work filled my days, but it didn't fill my life. Approval felt good, but it faded quickly. The people who mattered most didn't need more from me. They needed me. Presence is quiet. It doesn't announce itself. You don't realize its value until it's gone. I kept waiting for a better time to slow down, to listen more closely, to say what I felt. That better time never arrived. Now, my days are slower, whether I like it or not. I notice things I once ignored. The sound of birds in the morning, the way the light changes in the afternoon, small details that don't ask anything from me. I carry gratitude alongside regret. I'm grateful for the life I had, even with its mistakes, but I won't pretend I don't wish I had lived it differently. If this meant something to you, maybe sit with it for a moment. Not to change everything, just to notice what's already there. Some chances only look ordinary while you still have them. As for me, I'm learning to accept what can't be undone. I have fewer tomorrows than yesterdays now. I spend them quietly, honestly, with fewer distractions. This is what really mattered. I just learned it too late.